Thank you very much indeed for that very generous and expansive and slightly over the top, I think, account of what I've done. So I'll tell you a very basic thing I've told of the 10-year-olds, and you might remember when you were 10, what you thought about drawing and jokes and fun, because that's what this is about. Because when you get a bit older and you go to art school and you're given some information, some positive information, we get the information that the human head is roughly that shape. Everybody. Where do you talk? At which level? Up here, you're only going to talk to that person or those type of people. So that's a bit of a waste, talking up here. You know, editors would worry about that, newspapers, people worry about book publishers. This is book going to hit everybody. Come down here, get all of this person, everybody. You hit everybody a little bit. In other words, the level of the publishing targeting is that management have got all sorts of ways of describing how you, if you could do a book that goes like this, that would be terrific. There is a problem for media about who you target when you're talking to anybody. The other thing it tells you about it is this. I think this is quite important, particularly cartoonists, animators, people in the profession, people in the literary profession. For instance, what cartoonists and animators are inclined to do their own thing. You do your own story, you do your own animation, you do your own editing if you can, which is a good thing. Nearly all of us do it, and some of us sort of manage to make a profession out of doing it on your own. The other thing is collaboration, which I think is the magic thing to good communication, good and good commitment to an idea. In other words, it's a good idea to find one of these people that really knows stuff at a huge density, a narrow-minded person, well, we call it, but super intelligence on one particular subject. What about if that person collaborated with this person who thinks like that? Is there any way you could do it? Because this person, although they're brilliant at that one level, a lot of people, you know, sort of go to sleep a bit when it's after a while. When this goes on, they tend to droop a bit, and you know, this is heavy going. That's what I'm saying. This is all very obvious. You've probably read books on it and written treatises on it. But so, if you could get this person somehow attached to that person, you might get something like this. This is the two of them together. There's two heads. I don't quite know how you do that, but there's two heads. Bit of a blur. But now this person, he's going up here, but it goes out this way a bit. He's going up all right, but it's a little more interesting. Comes down here, a bit more interesting there. In other words, you're getting a hybrid of both.
In order to improve his mind, he took up struggling for existence. forget.
He's the stick person. But one of these sticks is burnt at the end. In fact, they're all a bit burnt. And as he comes in, he's staggering a bit because he's been out in the snow. He's staggering a bit, starts to make these marks on the wall. A mark there, mark there. As he's scuffling in, see, there's his scuffling. And then this one, he's just done this. And this person here, possibly a woman, says, look, that's the chief. This is the first drawing on the planet. Now, obviously this is nonsense, but something like this must have happened. It either happened like that, or it might have happened, you know, somebody did it in the sand or something, or a rock looked like a person, but somebody pointed out, that is like somebody we know, particularly if it's the chief, which would be hilarious, you know. Well, I don't know whether it was hilarious or whether it's insulting at those days, but some event like that must have happened around the 30,000 years ago. An event like this, guy turns around and says, yeah, he's like the chief, he said, and he becomes the artist of the group. So now when they're all out, when all the blokes are going out hunting, you know, for bisons and stuff, he's back in the cave doing more of these things, and there they are. There they are now in France and in Spain, Pyrenees. I forget the name, you will remember the name of those.
While creating an action-adventure movie, should we show and explain why a bad guy becomes what he is? Or should we keep his history and origin vague?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. That is an interesting puzzle that filmmakers and editors particularly have to work out, I think. How much do you let people work out? People like to work out a puzzle. Audiences like puzzles, but they don't. It's got to have an answer. They don't want opaque messages. So we're used to a stereotype. If your bad man is drawn like a bad man the way we do, and he's got terrible. He's got a frown on his face, and his face is a bit irregular, and he's got an awful sort of scrappy beard, and he's hulked a bit. You can draw a bad man, and then you don't really need to say why he's a bad man. We just say some people are bad. Now, but if you're doing a sociology story, if you're doing a story that's about analysis of human behaviour, you might start off with him, and then you do a flashback, you know, and say, you just make it a deliberate